Welcome back to the Back to the Future DVD commentary track for the 5th and final episode Out of Time. I'm Mike Stemley, designer.
I'm Dennis Lennart, director.
Becky Gammon, cinematic artist.
Kirsten Kennedy, associate producer.
Sean Finney, marketing media producer.
Varam Antonian, choreographer.
Andy Hartzell, designer.
Gray Rogers, concept artist.
And here we are starting once again with Marty asleep, something I think we did about 3 times
No,
in this
well,
season.
he needed to sleep. He had a very strenuous season.
It's a good way to start.
Yeah. And we put a speaker on this phone because we didn't want Marty to pick it up.
Well, and because Emmett would have invented a speakerphone, would he not? Here's a great piece of animation. Demonstrating conclusively that Citizen Brown is an evil bastard.
Or at least negligent.
Yeah, maybe he just didn't see him. That's right.
Or
There's a lot of deliberation on how much should it look like he was actually trying to kill him, and how much should it just be.
That's true. At one point, he did head straight for him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Before we the car skidded to the side.
we originally were going to do a very involved sequence in the downtown area with Marty chasing this static accumulator thingamabobby all over the place and getting pulled around like a water skier.
Yeah.
And then we said, well, we probably shouldn't do that.
And then there was a slightly less involved, and then there was an even less.
A little something.
Because we wanted to put it all in this insanely cool set.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk up front of are we going to put all the money and action in the expo, or are we going to do a big post expo action sequence? And then we wound up just doing everything that we initially planned.
Much too.
That was another song by Ron Lytle, by the way, that I just talked over.
And again, Andy ended up being the lead designer on the episodes with the cool music instead of me. I'm kind of bummed about that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Stanley trademark.
An anarchist, a foreign agitator bent on sowing chaos and destruction
And
in
this-
Valley Expo.
I'm very happy with the name that Alt Doc chose for Marty here. It's a perfect 80s name.
I approve of all references to a Red Scare.
Yeah. Yakov Smirnov. You didn't hear me.
People love Jacques Duteau.
Do they?
Yeah.
This is Jared Emerson Johnson, I believe. Yeah. Once
It is
again.
indeed.
And then
He
spoiler.
does a very good French accent.
Jackson, as opposed to Mr. Lloyd, who is doing some kind of very strange Hungarian thing.
He's the vampire diver.
Yeah.
And I forgot what Duteau is for. Something like
Actually, depending on how you pronounce it, it either means fish or it means shady.
shady.
And,
yes,
and
that's
both
right.
of them work.
I thought it was just. I thought the French translation was "sounds like Cousteau."
No,
That was also part of it.
we're very happy with it. Andy, would you like to, and Dennis, would you like to talk about this House of Glass thing?
Yeah, the Glass House puzzle was kind of a late addition to the design, and it began as a cardboard house that I was running around the office showing to people, and it's a little different from some of the other puzzles that we've done, but it turned out really nicely. Largely thanks to Eric Parsons, who's not here today.
It's a very puzzly puzzle.
It is a puzzly puzzle.
And I remember, I think it was initially, it was like, no, we're not doing it. And then you came in the next day with the cardboard mock-up, and then everyone saw it and were like, all right, that's cool.
It's part of a grand tradition here at Telltale for things that are going to make people hurt to build is to ask for the designers to actually make mock-ups or to make sure that they get done.
Yeah.
And it maybe was a little
Cue
more
ball
difficult
setting.
to build than people thought. Yeah, Cue Ball's kind of small but impactful role in this episode.
Is that it? Was that it? So we got a little, he hummed as he was walking off, because Varam actually had that in the soup kitchen in episode 1. And
Is that where
then,
that came from?
and that was a huge part of that, and then it got cut at the last minute. So we've been trying to find a place to put it in forever, and Varam was like, "I think I can get it in this one."
Finally, I found a few seconds to put Cue Ball song into the game.
Here Marty gets to be kind of a badass again.
I felt
He-
really bad while I was solving this puzzle.
Good.
Yeah.
You're supposed to.
This is one of my favorite puzzles. It's the do nothing puzzle. It totally fights every impulse everybody has.
The funnest of them all.
Yes, exactly. Stand there and watch.
It's the go
you
make
can
a
go and
hot
make
pocket
yourself a
puzzle.
sandwich puzzle.
The players.
That was
all-
actually pretty sweet water effects coming off that.
Yeah,
Michael
yeah,
Peretta.
Yeah.
yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Is that Peretta?
Mike Peretta.
That was Beretta.
Yeah.
Emma is so consistently adorable throughout the series.
There may be a moment coming up here if
Uh-huh.
it's in the video.
He
Let's see.
just took that guy's wallet.
Yes. Thank you.
Everybody's
Yes.
favorite.
And that
Yes.
was
Mike
Arm
probably didn't know about that till now.
No, I
insisted
saw
that
you.
that
I
one would
played
be
through
in.
inside. Yes.
Ever since episode 1, I don't know why it's like among like super Back to the Future nerds. For some reason, the guy who says I think he took his wallet 3 times in the second film is like the most funny we've ever seen.
Yes,
I
and
know.
another thing we absolutely had to insert into the game.
Yep.
Yeah, there were
I
a
was just
couple of those in
let's
this
cut all
episode.
the puzzles in episode 5, and it's just that line. As long as you do it. That and a hoverboard. That was the 2 things.
And then he stopped talking. The phone puzzle, we were real happy that we managed to get Marty doing a whole lot of silly jokes. And you will get I think a reward for doing all of them. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
You will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Watching AJ do a bad Christopher Lloyd impersonation was hilarious.
Although I think it was better than
Oh
what
no,
I thought it was
actually
gonna
was
be.
So by bad, I don't mean that he did a terrible job, but that it's supposed to be kind of like the cheesy
Right.
version. And I
Well, the
remember
day
going in-
when we went and recorded pickups, and he had to do a few more of those lines, and we actually Christopher Lloyd was there, and we all had lunch, and he was deathly afraid that
Yes.
Christopher Lloyd was going to be standing there and listening to him do Christopher Lloyd, but he left just before,
I
so he
was
didn't have to be
taking video
subjected
on
to
my
that.
phone for some of those, and then he was doing all the voices and getting into it and doing all the sort of doc-isms, and then at one point looked up and saw me filming through the window, and he's like, "This can never get out."
Well, it's in a video game now.
Yeah.
Station to answer a few questions about your whereabouts on the night of the Speakeasy fires.
And Edna stands revealed as the speakeasy arsonist, probably surprising about 3 people.
The 3 people who thought, "Oh no, they would never do anything
Yeah.
that obvious."
But the fact that she was a pyromaniac was very surprising to me, actually.
Oh, yeah?
I thought we'd done a remarkably ham-fisted bit of foreshadowing there in the first episode when old Edna talks about the pretty flames.
We're always less ham-fisted than we think we are. I think.
Yeah.
He's going to play the accordion here. It's the little.
Didn't know he was a musician.
Varm, final thoughts on putting this environment together? I feel like the whole thing has gone by, and you spent so much time on it.
Yeah, it was definitely biggest environment I think we've had in this whole game. It had a lot of people working on it, but I think it came together in the end very well. Everybody's been pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I remember it going from the sort of problem area to all of a sudden everyone's like, "Oh no, the expo's awesome!" Like it just like QA, everyone you'd ask their opinion, and they were like, "Oh, I'm really worried about it," and then a week later it's like, "Oh no, it's like super great. It's the best part of the game."
Yeah,
Oh.
cool.
Maybe he'll give you a fair chance.
Although Kirsten kept threatening us.
I didn't threaten.
Yeah, let's talk about the clock, Kirsten. The clock's
The clock is ticking, Dennis. The clock is definitely ticking.
Well, Papa never really understood the younger
Any
generation.
thoughts on the back and forth?
On the back.
On the back and forth with this.
The
Yeah. I mean, I thought that this whole moment turned into something really nice between these 2 characters.
We'd kind of had been this sort of bubbling little C plot that had been sort of kicking along and was there in the first episode in voice only, and then mentioned a little bit from that point forward, and then we finally get a good look at him.
And the acting here is very nice, very kind of subtle. The little moment when Emmett suddenly realizes, Papa loves me.
Starts breaking out into Papa, can you hear me?
But it's not too sloppy. It's not too sentimental.
What? How about sketching on this episode, Gray? Any thoughts?
Yeah, this was actually my first assignment here at Telltale, so they kind of threw me right into the fire my very first day. They just said, "Oh, free concept artist, let's go," and
Good luck.
loaded me up with work, and it's
Yeah, I think you jumped in and matched the style of the season incredibly well and quickly.
thank you.
Yeah.
It's all pretty seamless.
Yeah.
Well, now, and is it true that your first piece of art was the baby
Oh
Emmett
yeah,
picture
I had
from?
done the baby Emmett photo from I believe the previous episode. But yeah, very first day. And we doing that.
We don't waste any time.
No, not at all.
So rickety. Yeah, I thank Jeff for adding that animation on it, going kind of crazy and look like it's about to fall apart. It really helped.
I love this shot.
Yeah, it ended up being pretty funny.
The levitate is remarkably still enough for them to make eye contact.
That's interesting. A
And then
flying car.
I put this bit in at the end. I don't know if anyone noticed it, and it's not on the video, so never mind.
You'll have to play.
It was sort of in the background as the doors are closing. You see the car starting to spin out of
Spin out.
control.
Yes, yes.
I wasn't sure if anyone